Well, today I want to show you this little thing which I got as a gift some time ago, and it's basically an evaluation platform for a half-track vehicle, and it has some interesting capabilities, as you will see here. Oh, it's a bomb, you see? And well, this in principle, it's a kit which we've unboxed it some time ago, and now I want to show you step by step how you can put it together to actually end up with a working robot. Let's get started. Here we have the chassis with the two motors. Interestingly, we see at the bottom the battery holder, and we see these 4 screws which hold these hexagonal things, which are then responsible for plugging in the motherboard. And you see here we've got the motherboard, the control motherboard rather. It goes on top here. You must be careful. These must face this way, because we'll plug in these motor cables. You see these motor cables. We will plug them in here and here later. So basically this goes in here with the 4 screws which you find in this baglet here. And then we can plug in the motors here and here, and the battery connector here at the bottom. And we're gonna route the battery connector like this because we want to play it safe. And as you see, all of these connectors, they can only be plugged in one way. So don't apply force, instead do it gently, like so. In they go. This guy, you see, he also only goes in one way. So you look at it, then you put it in, like so. I know you are waiting for the next step, but I need your help. Down here there is a button. Please subscribe, please like. If you don't like and you don't subscribe, this channel can't grow. And hey, I'm really asking you for it, so please, do me a favor. Next, we've got the headlight board, and I really like this. You see, these countersunk spacers, it's probably these by Würth, which can be placed by a pick and place machine. And the reason why I believe this is because the manual says that there is a cover on top of them normally. And this cover is where the pick and place machine will grab them. Either way, this must be mounted in the front of the unit. Here, this is going to be the front. And they claim you must push it in from the back, from this side, because you see this connector is in the way. So you plug it in like this, and then you can screw it in here on the front using 2 screws, which I'm going to show in a minute. Incidentally, at this point, I would suggest you try and sort this screw container at least a little bit, so you have separately the washers and the screws, because this will make your life easier on the next steps. And yeah, it always is a bit difficult when your hands tremble to do this kind of assembly, but it can be done, as they always say. Then comes the other side here. And the thing which is important, these LEDs, they must of course point forward. Oh, and peekaboo, here, what do we see here? We see the little sticker which would be covering this, but it rubbed off during shipping. And this guy is also mounted. And next we need these cables. We want one of the 10 centimeter ones, and it basically goes between here and here to ensure that we can turn on the lights. As always, these guys are polar, so you must be careful to plug it in the right way, like this, and the other guy in the front here, like this. And this is also done. The next thing we have to install is this guy here, and I really like this aspect of the design. You see here the matching arrows. So basically they tell you which way to slide it in. So like so. And then you see you can erect the camera like this, and you must be careful because this is a servo motor, so please treat it well. And one thing which you can do in advance is you can push this cable here below into the retainer, because then it's stored more securely. For this you can use a tool, you can do it by hand, either way like this, and then it goes back in here. And then you can already connect the servos. You see here it's color coded on this side. This is the base. This is the camera. The base is S1, color coded like so. And the top is S2, color coded again like so. And so this means for now we've got 2 more servo motors. Theoretically, we can add them here. What comes next is this assembly, the CyberEye unit, where you see here an ESP32 Wi-Fi module and the actual K210 processor, which will be responsible for the AI tasks. And then essentially this will sit on top here, but we need to connect the camera first to this connector over here. And these are these typical flip up ZIF. So you can flip it up to open it. Then it goes in like this. Important, this side must face up. And then you push it in well here. It's always a bit of a fidgety affair, especially when you have damaged nerves. And then you can close it, and then you see it's locked. And yes, there always is a bit space on these FPC. From now on you should be careful, because if this cable breaks you need to buy a new camera. And yes, the next step is what you would expect. You have to install the board here on top. You want to make sure it's as unstressed as possible, the FPC. And then you align it here. And then you push it down onto the Arduino pin headers, and you should check it from both sides. It should really fit well. And now we have the screen assembly installed, and next up is the speaker. Well, the next step involves installing the speaker. You see here we've got these clamps. You have to plug it in here. And in principle, the only thing which is important here is that the red side should go in here. And then you have to use the sticker at the back to glue it somewhere around here on the outside. And yes, the isolation here is a bit short, so you might want to remove a bit more using some isolation removal pliers or something like that. And yes, it's the stupid Teflon wire, which puts a bit of a strain on the tool for removing it, but it's possible. And then we can glue it somewhere, like for example here. Incidentally, the volume, you set it up here, louder or more quiet, and you should be careful not to damage this rheostat. And yes, in the manual you see there is a longer cable, and they put the speaker in the front. So if you feel like it, you can also modify it and put it in the front. But I'm going to leave it here for now and see what happens. And now we see another very interesting aspect. This here in the front, it's a normal mounting bracket. You can practically put just about anything you want on the front by screwing it into these holes. And from immediately we get these two sensors. We get this thing and we get this ultrasonic rangefinder thingy. And so essentially you have to pick which one of them you mount. For the fun of it, I'm probably going to mount the ultrasonic rangefinder. And important, you see, the bottom of the PCB is exposed. So during the installation, you need to use these kind of spacers to keep a little bit of a space between this conductive board and this thing. Important, only use 2 screws, because the connector here on top, you also need to be able to fit it in. And it will stand over the ground a teeny tiny little bit, but that's not a big issue because we'll install the wheels very soon. And yes, this here, you can connect it to any of these digital inputs here in the back. Traditionally, they suggest you should use D6, but you just use a long or a short cable and you install as you see fit. Personally, I also like this line follower thing here. You see, it's got these 2 optosensors and it should be installed on the bottom. So we see here from the side, be careful about the camera, so you should have a helper ideally, which I don't have. And you see here at the bottom, you've got even more of these mounting holes. And then basically you just mount it like, say, here, like this. Again, of course, with the spacers. Yeah, it can be a bit tough to do it, but it's, as always, the first one is the biggest problem. You can use a spool of solder or something to prop it up a little bit, such as so. You see here in the back I've got the spool of solder to prop it up. And then in it goes. And yes, the most important aspect is always that you just need to get the first one in. The other ones then are simple. Or at least relatively simple. First one goes in a little bit. It's a bit tough as you see, but well. Oh, and there's a trap. If you look very carefully, you see only these 2 holes are threaded. So you need only 2 screws and you have to use these 2 middle things here. Like so and like so. So we've got him installed as well. Now of course we need to leave it standing on the side because otherwise it will get damaged. Like this. And this is going to be a bit strange type of a tracked vehicle. In that we've got these 2 wheels and then we've got this ball. You see, it's a ball which can roll. So essentially the 2 wheels, you just ram them in here gently on the side. It's a bit, you need to be gentle but not too gentle. Because you see it's such a shape, such an oblong shape. And the wheel then fits right on top of there. And yes, you can push a bit, but not too hard, like this. Second wheel goes over there. It's also a bit fidgety, as you see, getting these wheels in. When you see, you can turn the motor, you can push it in all the way. And then here at the bottom, we've got this guy. He gets attached here on the front with 2 screws. Here you see it goes in here, and then you just have to screw it down a little bit. In practice, of course, you can also put in a third wheel as long as the wheel can coast around, but for first experiments, especially for indoors, this should be good enough as it stands. And here we have him sitting and almost ready to go. Well, as I said, you still need to wire the two sensors, and then if you want to, if you're doing a demonstration, you can also fit this here on top of it. It's such a house thing. You can fit it on top to make the affair a bit more robust. And here, well, this is going to be D6. And D6, we're going to move him here. Should be thinking about where to place the cable. But I'm going to just put it together like this now, initially. Be careful to get the angle right, like this. And then for the line follower, essentially we have to do the same with another one of the long cables, but from the bottom. So here we have the line follower, cable goes through. In theory, you might also do this before, you might remove it and then install the whole module. I might do this to make it easier to install, but either way it goes in here and then it goes up here in any of these which are labeled with a D. It only needs to be a D. And as you see here, I've selected D8 for the other guy, and now the only remaining problem is how to fit the top on it. Incidentally, you could also run this cable below if you want to, but at the moment I don't want to have the effort to put it all through here. So now you see here, this is a little magnetic trinket. So the magnetic trinket sits. Here it doesn't sit perfectly yet because of the wiring, but you see here, now we are basically ready to go with our little toy robot. And now it's time for the big question. Do you want this robot in your life? Well, personally, I find it a very interesting evaluation kit, if only because the M.A.R.K or the K210 Kendrüte platform is very widespread. It's quite easy to program, and it makes creating all kinds of artificial intelligence payloads for half-track vehicles easy. You can easily evaluate them with the product. And yes, I know currently their cloud-based development system is not exactly comfortable, but already now you can click the code tab to get access to the source code of the module in question. And in addition to that, they are planning to provide documentation for basic just Python programmers who don't want to use the IDE at all in the near future. So, in short, this is quite a likable product, especially if you buy it off of seed, where it's currently like $200. And so, yes, if you always wanted to have a real-life copy of the half-track in Grand Theft Auto, or just feel like experimenting with a robot, it's a really nice and quite solid kit. So what should I say? Enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned, because you see, the lab is full of other crazy shit, which I'm going to show you in the near future. So, thank you. Bye bye.